I've always loved this building. The first time I saw this building was when I was in the 5th grade. And I used to go to the John Hancock Library across the street all the time.
The Masonic Temple has engrossed passers-by since it was built in Quincy Square in 1926 as a local headquarters for the fraternal organization, the Freemasons.
Every afternoon when I was leaving the library, I would look over and I think to myself, wow, what a beautiful building.
4 giant columns fortify the limestone facade, a neoclassical design crowned with a golden crest.
And when did you get the first inkling you might be able to have this building?
The first inkling was after it got burnt down, actually.
The exterior is nearly all that's left of its historic majesty. Most of the temple's interior was destroyed by a 4-alarm fire in 2013.
This is a real tragedy. It's really sad to see this.
But more than a decade later, restaurateur Jimmy Lang has breathed new life into the building, opening Mason Steakhouse in late 2024.
I think with a building of this stature, of this magnitude, I just felt that upon walking in here, no matter what I did, it was not going to outshine the facade, and that's not something that I wanted to do.
Lang has been in the restaurant business since he was a teenager, opening his own for the first time in 1998, Fuji.
And if I'm going to start my first business, why wouldn't I do it in my own backyard?
Since then, Lang and his team have grown, expanding their restaurant empire into the double digits.
When people walk in here, I want people to think that the outside is amazing, but the inside is also beautiful.
Were these here from the original Masonic Lodge?
Yeah, so this fireplace is original. It's one of the only pieces that we're able to salvage after the fire. It's actually working.
Oh, so you'll have an actual wood-burning fireplace?
That's
like
correct,
they used to?
yep.
Really?
And the crest is actually original as well.
A steakhouse is a departure for Lang. The majority of his menus are Pan-Asian.
The food experience here is an amazing one. I like to call it a culinary journey.
There's a cross-section of steak, from a Japanese Wagyu sirloin to a bone-in ribeye, plus roast bone marrow served with fig jam, and wild Spanish octopus with almonds and red olives.
Quincy has come a very, very long way, and I think we have a ways to go. I don't think we've reached maximum potential yet for this city.
Masons is a fitting addition to the city's growing reputation as a gastro destination.
We will not squander this opportunity, and we want to build Masons to be the best steakhouse, not only in Quincy, but in Boston, in Massachusetts, in New England, maybe the country. Someday, hopefully the world. Who knows?
Along the Merrimack River in historic Haverhill sits a gleaming modern addition to the skyline with a taste of Italy inside.
Right now, Haverhill's going through a restaurant renaissance. Every other day, there's a new restaurant opening up, a new boutique shop opening up. 5-10 years to come, Haverhill will be the next big spot.
Food is the family business for Sal Lipoli Jr. His father, Sal Lipoli Sr., is the owner of Sal's Pizza, first opened in Salem, New Hampshire in 1990, now with 130 locations in 6 states.
I have a passion for business I've always had. I was that kid on the back of the bus that was selling gum.
Lipoli Sr. developed this Haverhill property in 2020 and 4 years later added Bosa Coastal Italian Restaurant, named after a small fishing village on the outskirts of Sardinia.
It has a rich history of fishermen that dates back hundreds of years.
Seafood offerings include the shareable citrus-seared tuna and cioppino, crabs, clams, mussels, squid, and shrimp swimming in a savory tomato broth.
Then we're going to add our minced shrimp, which really just replaces the ground beef and the bolognese.
The white bolognese is served with shrimp and a cream sauce that coats the fresh pappardelle. All the pastas here cut by hand in-house. And of course, what started it all for the Lipolis, pizza, fired up in the brick oven, served with traditional toppings or a coastal flair.
We have a beautiful 10-story roof deck bar.
At the building's peak, a bar and tapas menu with a stunning view and an outlook for the future.
My dad, he grew up in East Boston. He had 5 other brothers. He came from very humble beginnings. I would love to one day, with my sister and with other family members, take this business to a national level.
And fun little fact about Sal Jr., in addition to finishing his MBA, he's also trying to score a spot on an NFL team. He had a brief stint with the Tennessee Titans, had a couple of workouts with the Patriots, and recently signed with the Massachusetts Pirates of the Indoor Football League. You go, Sal.